E-commerce expansion myths blasted. Successful cross-border expansion help. Listen to the show to hear how one UK company is helping e-commerce sellers successfully expand into Europe and double their profits. Hosted by Andy Hooper of Global E-commerce Experts.
So we're joined today, very exciting podcast today, part of our new series that we're sort of just starting. We've got an exciting guest with us. I'm going to let them explain a bit about them as we go. But Dagmar's been very kind enough to join us here in the office, in the studio, which is amazing because we don't get very many of our guests come and see us. So first of all, thank you very much for coming to see us. Why don't you just introduce yourself and where you're from?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks very much for having me, Andy. I'm Canadian, but I'm here to you today from London and come from Payoneer. So essentially, I'm really passionate about helping entrepreneurs really reach their goal of going beyond and growing globally. Yeah. So I thought today was a great opportunity to talk a little bit about your audience and really help answer some of the questions that they might have when they're trying to expand.
Excellent. So this is going to be an exciting podcast and vlog for us all. So because one of the key things that a lot of our sellers struggle with is, well, how do I get my payment around? How do I work with the money that I've got in my accounts, and how does that all work? So hopefully we're going to resolve some of those today for some of our listeners and help them to move forwards. Why don't you tell us a bit about Payoneer and how it works?
Yeah, no, absolutely brilliant. I'd be happy to. So Payoneer is a cross-border innovation platform. Really, we deal in the payment space. We allow customers of all sizes, whether they be the individual entrepreneur or a larger small to medium business, and help them to get paid through their marketplaces or to pay their invoices to their suppliers. So we do that through what you call a Payoneer account. It's a receiving account. You can get that in multiple currencies. So, for example, you might be in the US, you might be in the UK. Now you want to transact and expand your business. A lot of these times you need to be able to do that in the local currency. Yeah. But then you'd also want to be able to take the money back into your bank account, for instance, so that you can either buy more stock or you can use that to really build your cash flow. Yeah. So essentially, that's what we do, and we help our entrepreneurs do that globally.
Okay, so it doesn't matter where I am in the world?
No, so we cover 200 countries, and we support 150 currencies, and it's ideal if you are based anywhere from Bangalore to the UK to the US.
Hold on, Bangalore, where is Bangalore? That is a new one on me.
Oh, yeah, so down in India. If,
Bangalore, okay, makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So think about that as well. If you're in the US and you might be dealing with some of your VAs or some of the people that you need to pay as well because they're doing some work for you, and you're sitting in the US or you're sitting in the UK, well, you can use your Payoneer account and do an in-network payment that way so that they can get paid for the service, but then you're using that to receive the money that you've made from all those great sales from your marketplace.
Okay, so let me just break this down because I'm pretty simple. So I want to try and break it down as simple as I possibly can. So I sell online on, let's say, Amazon or any other marketplace, and that currency can then go into my Payoneer account.
Correct.
Okay, now from that Payoneer account I've then got some cash in there, so I can then pay my suppliers in China, India, Pakistan, anywhere where they might be.
Yes, correct. So what you'll need to do is obviously they will probably have a Payoneer account, but you can actually do this in network payment. So if you're based somewhere outside of where they are, the use case would be, for instance, you need some freight forwarding, some shipping. Maybe you need to get some product developed or manufactured in China. You need to be able to pay those individuals. So yes, the Payoneer account can help with that.
Okay. And then let's just look at that from a UK point of view. So if you're not based in the UK and you therefore need a UK account, you need to pay people in the local currency. Yes. So they could pay for their HMRC VAT bill. Is that possible?
Yes, no, absolutely. So they can pay their VAT, value-added tax, for free with their Payoneer balance. Now, that means they will be getting the money through their sales, and that balance, they can use it to pay their VAT. They can also keep that money in the account in their local currency until a time that they feel that the exchange rates are more favorable, and then they can bring that, say, over to the U.S., if that's where they're based, and then withdraw that to their account in their U.S. currency.
Okay, fantastic. So a lot of our customers certainly say to us, the sellers sort of say, well, Andy, I need to pay my VAT bill. And it's a case of, well, how do I pay my VAT bill? I can send a wire and it's going to cost me £40, which is quite a lot of money. For certainly as a percentage for some of the VAT bills we might typically see. So they can pay that straight out. So if we've got clients that have got their sales in their Payoneer account, they need to save 20% of that for their VAT bill. So they can save that 20%, because we all know we have to save 20% for the Queen.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So once we've saved that 20% for the Queen, well, it's not the Queen, it's Her Majesty's Revenue and Customs, but let's not go there. But they can then pay that from their Payoneer account. Straightforward.
Yeah, absolutely. It makes a lot of sense when you're thinking about your business to look at all your costings. I mean, you have to think about everything you need to operate your business, from your warehousing to your shipping to your tax, to buy new stock. So really in your line items, you should be putting that 20%, you say, aside. Yeah. Keep that in your Payoneer account. Then that way your tax obligation is going to be fulfilled.
Yeah.
And it's a direct line to HMRC. It's for free. And then you don't have to worry about trying to transfer money. Is it going to reach? And also you're saving, upwards of 70%, because think about the extra fees that you're incurring if you're paying through credit card or you're trying to do a wire transfer or things like this. Yeah. So definitely strong business advice to save your VAT obligation throughout the year.
And that's typically a struggle for a lot of our clients, not to save it, but to save it, and then when it comes to the VAT bill, well, I haven't got the VAT. So it's really key that you can do that. So that's a key thing. All right then, so why Payoneer? What's different about Payoneer to someone else that might be out there?
Yeah, when you think about it, I mean, there's lots of ways to move money. We're really not just what you call a payments company. We really see ourselves as providing services as well as solutions that are going to help grow your business. If you are trading on an online marketplace, for instance, we're allowing you to have the local currency, but then to receive it to pull it out or withdraw the funds in your local currency, so you can trade in one country and you can actually be living or domiciled in another. Yeah. And it also helps you scale in that way as well, because you might then be across several different geographies. Yep. You might have multiple stores on multiple marketplaces. Yep. That's a lot of time and energy to go focus and be logging into each marketplace, see how much money you've made. Yep. With Payoneer, you can have all of them within one view through what we call My Store. So you're able to receive everything from all the marketplaces you're working on into that one account, help you manage things, and give you a lot more visibility.
Can I just pick up on that? So if I'm based somewhere in the world and I'm on Amazon in India, Australia, the UK, Germany, all of these different marketplaces, including US, Canada, I'm based in one of those countries. All the money can come into that one account and I can just collect it all in one place.
Yeah, absolutely correct. Okay. Yeah. And we'll really help you manage the performance of what market is working for you. So think about that as well, because you might find some seasonality, in commerce, you might find that certain products work in other markets. Yeah. So you'll start to be able to see what sales you're generating across those different countries. And by default, because you're able to manage it through your Payoneer account, then you're also able to get more insight or information about where you should focus your efforts, your selling efforts.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Perfect. All right. Wonderful. Right then. That's fantastic. Now, so you obviously deal with a lot of e-commerce sellers. Is that fair?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, we would probably say that daily we're signing about 6,000 new sellers. globally.
That's a lot a day, isn't it?
That is a lot.
Significant, I'd call that.
There's quite a lot. And, we have two sides to our business, the receiving side and then the mass pay side. I sit on the receiving side, which really supports the sellers. Our other team supports a lot of the marketplaces. So they build the integrations that help facilitate. So if you think about the Airbnb, which is a marketplace, but for the travel sector, we plug into that to help the landlord and the person who's renting the property, help that transaction happen. So you think about e-commerce, that's one vertical. There are so many out there because this is real sharing economy now. There's lots of opportunities for all types of entrepreneurs. We just want to be part of that story.
Yeah, amazing. Okay, so what sort of the key things you're seeing, the sort of challenges that people are seeing in e-commerce? Are you seeing any particular things that you're thinking, this is coming up, this is going to change? Anything that people should be aware of?
I think the thing it's really key to understand, to be very customer centric, to really understand the needs of the local country. Also think about the trust factor. That's very important in e-commerce as well. If you're trying to expand into, say, China and you're based in the US, you might find that you have more challenges. So you might need to have a third party help you with that to localize. And then certainly things around e-commerce in terms of the categories. Some categories are going to be more profitable than others. Private label, we start to see marketplaces starting to focus on that. Big brands are starting to get into this whole omni-channel. So the competition, I would say, is way more fierce out there from big players. And you just really want to spend the time to understand who your customer is, how you can service them, and then don't forget about the customer service, the aftercare. From sending that follow-up, that thank you, or including something within your package that maybe is a little bit more personalized. You're building a business of one or a business of many. Think about you as your brand and think about your customer as having the best experience that they can have. So that's more really about how to position yourself more uniquely within this e-commerce space.
So there's a lot about experience in there, isn't there? The experience someone feels when they come through your store in one shape or form or in another.
Yeah, absolutely. And thinking about the quality of the products you're offering as well. There's nothing worse than having a great photo and then what you get is terrible when it receives. Or also the other consideration is think about different marketplaces or different areas where you do need product photography. There's going to be different dimensions, different criteria, so it's much better to work with an expert so that they can help you. I think another tip that's really important is the visual, so the photography, how your product looks. We don't have the benefit of having somebody walk into our brick and mortar store and touch and feel something. So it's also how you do the listing, the tagline from the product photography. And you also have to think about fulfillment is also another part of the customer experience. So do you have storage facilities? And I know that you have some warehousing facilities that is going to be in the proximity of your customer. Because they will have the expectation that they'll want it in a certain amount of time, and if your competitors are out there offering it in a day or 2 days, you can only fulfill that in a week or 2 weeks. Who's going to get the sale? So it's very important to align yourself with local experts that can work across the value chain with you.
I mean, that's definitely one thing we see that with a lot of the sellers that we have, where people are still drop shipping from the US. It's still going to take, at the minimum, it's still going to take a week to get here. You've got people that are selling from China into the UK marketplace that when you go on and say, I want the free shipping, it's going to take 35 days. The UK customer or EU customer doesn't want that. They want that next day delivery.
I think that's really important to actually say UK is quite sophisticated. We've been involved in e-commerce for a long time. We've adopted really quickly. There's quite strong market share here, and some of the countries in Europe as well. So we have certain expectations.
Yeah.
We don't necessarily tolerate things like some other markets. And personally, I've been on the receiving end where I've been promised a fulfillment date of X, and a week later it's still not here. I haven't had any communication. So then I go and find out where it is, and it turns out they have no idea because it's been lost in transit somewhere. So they've had to cancel it, and I'm frustrated. And I'm not going to go back and repeat business with that kind of that kind of customer service.
Yeah, and again, it comes down to that experience, isn't it? That positive experience, negative experience is making sure the customers have that all the way through the cycle, if you like, the journey.
Exactly, because it starts right at the beginning of getting your operations in play, getting them set up so that you have the credibility to your customers, and then you also have the confidence that things are going to get and happen the way you need them to happen. And then from everything from how you position yourself to how you fulfill, everything in between, very important.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Perfect. So I think we've covered a huge amount of different things there. So tell us, is there a way where they can you get in contact with Payoneer, find out more information? Where's the best places for people to go for that?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So I think you can definitely check out Payoneer.com. We have also some social media, but I think the best thing would be to do is look at global e-commerce experts, read a little bit about Payoneer, see how it sounds to you, and then we can certainly help you from there based on the kind of needs or the kind of cycle that you're working at right now.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah. Okay, so another question for me is really around the online. So if you're working online, one thing you look at when you're looking for payment is that something is secure. So how does Payoneer work with that, and how does that happen?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So we're not a payment processor, but we are offering the receiving account, and we operate a really flexible but tightly regulated platform. So we have our team looks at risk, we look at fraud. We're really able to understand where money is coming from, and we're financially regulated. And we also have a lot of banking partners that we have across the world. So you do have the security and the knowledge that your money is going to a safe place, that it's your account, and that you'll be able to withdraw that. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. All right. So I think that's been really useful. I think it's been really useful from my side. So I'm pretty confident that's going to be really useful from a seller's point of view. Payoneer is one of the experts that we've partnered with, in all fairness, in all honesty, over the past 18 months or so, where we know that it's someone that our sellers can rely on, they can trust. It's someone that we know where they're going to get good advice should they need it. And that's why we certainly recommend, on all of our invoices going out, that, Payoneer is someone that you should use if you need that. So, really from us here at Global E-Commerce Experts, we want to say thank you very much to Dagmar giving up her time on this pretty wet and miserable UK day, as it happens to be. And thank you very, very much for coming.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. And I think, you're really an important partner, part of that value chain that really helps our sellers connect and really just grow their business. So I've had a delight. It's been great spending some time with you, Andy, and I hope to come back another time.
Excellent. Well, we should definitely do that. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Take care.